everyone! This is Korith Landwalker, and this afternoon we're going to be doing a little bit of flying, and more importantly, doing a little spelunking in Star Citizen. I'm presently situated here in the space station Port Olisar, just above the gas giant of Crusader, my general home away from home. At least it is in Star Citizen until the Nix system comes in and brings back Levski. And as you can see, I am loaded for bear today. There's a reason for that. And in many ways, we have a fellow streamer to blame for this. You see, I was watching the stream of Legend Eternal this morning, and he and his cohort, Cap, brought up the fact that they absolutely loathed cave missions. Well, you know, that was when it occurred to me that, hey, that would be a pretty fun thing to do for the stream today. So, we are going to be doing cave missions. We're going to go caving today. Now, we're not going to go to some of the really entertaining caves, because there are some caves that are big enough to handle spaceships. But I don't know where those are, and I'm not inclined to go hunting for them on stream. Although, you never know if there's ever a demand for it. Who knows? But we're going to do the simple method, which is basically going into the Moby-Glass, pulling up the contract missions, and looking up some mercenary assignments. Or a bounty hunter assignment. And we're going to hope that maybe we can find somebody in a cave here, because that would make life a lot simpler. Well, unfortunately, we're not going to get simple here. Oh, here we go. Criminal Nest. And it'll be a cool 30K. Crusader Security has learned that a cave on Daymar is currently being used as a base of operations for numerous illegal activities. The cave can only be accessed on foot. In order to put a stop to this nest of criminals, we are seeking a contractor to go to the site and clear all the occupants by force if necessary. Well, we can do force. And heaven knows I'm not going to turn down 30K in profit. However, the first thing I'm going to do is always pick up call to arms. It's not just for space targets anymore. Now it's good for taking out targets on the ground too. So anytime I can get even more money, hey, every little bit counts. Now, due to the nature of this mission, we're going to pull out a somewhat larger ship than usual, the Anvil Carrack. Primarily because it has a medical bay, and it will be a lot easier to start from scratch from a medical bay than it is to start from scratch all the way from Grim Hex. So, lighty-lighty-lighty-lighty-lighty. Open sesame. We're going to go to the B00 landing pad. Now, Carrack is designed as an exploration ship. It's a kind of a military surplus. It used to be a military scanning ship, but now it's for civilian exploration. And as you can see, it is a pretty decent size. It's suitable for a crew of 5. 1 for each turret and a pilot. You can handle more, of course. I think the number might be 6, maybe 7. I'd have to go to the crew quarters and look. Depends on how many beds are there. It's big enough to handle a vehicle in its vehicle garage here, up front. It's got a hangar for a small snub ship, neither of which are currently occupying my vessel here because it's more of a pain in the butt than it's worth, honestly. first thing we're going to do is go up to the habitation deck, and we're going to hit the medical bay and move my imprint here. That will allow me to respawn in the Carrack in the unfortunate eventuality that I die. We'll send bits for Drake footage. Oh, like I'd get any of those bits. Yeah, gotta be an affiliate for that sort of thing. Which is just another good reason for me not to go affiliate, because that way I don't feel even compelled to even begin to show Drake footage. Well, you know what? You know what? I might still have some Drake footage I can show you, but I don't know if you'd want to see that footage. And how are you doing, Legend? After your crazy, crazy bounty hunting insanity this morning. Let's pull away from here. There we go. Open sesame. And while we're not taking off yet, and while we're still here at Olisar, let me grab some spare guns. Just on the outside chance that, you know, that unfortunate event I was referring to becomes really unfortunate. Awesome, lawnmower battery is dead, so I get more gaming time while it charges. There you go. The hidden benefits. Oh, dearie, dearie. Let's grab a spare, oh. Gotta move the vehicles here. Move a spare custodian in here, or two. Well, we'll try the Lumen. I'm pretty sure it's got a full clip. That's only for, you know, emergencies, because the goal here is to recover my body and get the good stuff back. Ooh, yeah, good point. I might need a spare helmet and undersuit, too. Just in case. Just in case. To keep garbage, obviously. In case you haven't guessed it by the title here, Legend, we're doing some cave missions today. Your favorite kind. Speaking of Legend, of course, he is the big man of the org, the Eternal Writers, our Discord and org link, conveniently labeled there. Feel free to take a look, and if you like what you see, give a holler. Tell him Core sent you. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not point out that Legend also does that stream in the morning, Saturday mornings of Star Citizen, conveniently located at that link. Although, strangely enough, I'm not seeing it hyperlinked on my chat. That's weird. You're welcome there. Legend apparently will also be doing a stream in the not horribly distant future of Escape from Tarkov. So he's going to be expanding himself out a bit. Looks hyperlinked to you. Huh, then maybe it's the iPad app here, because, you know, I'm using my second screen here where I read all my chat is the iPad. And while it had no trouble creating the links for the org and the Discord, it didn't seem to do that for your Twitch channel. At least not from what I'm seeing. But if it's hyperlinking to you, then it's probably just me, which is... it works. So, now that we have gotten our equipment together, it's time to go to Daymar, and unfortunately it doesn't look like there's anything too close, although the Wolf Point 8 shelter might be, so we'll try going there first. Now, I like the Carrack. It's got great design. I've got the old Best in Show paint from the previous year. Not the previous, but the previous Ship Showdown. Carrack was robbed this year due to this insane push to get the Argo cargo on the list. Well, fine. Doesn't matter to me. Besides, after seeing the color schemes that were being used for the Best in Show, I'm just as happy to stick with this one. Yeah, exactly. This past year's paints were meh anyway. I use it on my 600i because the 600i doesn't have any other paint. And I'm using it right now for my C2 Hercules, just because. But I don't have any emotional attachment to either. I certainly don't use it for my Mercury. I like the paint job I'm using for my Mercury a lot better. And obviously, I don't have the Argo cargo. I mean, come on. Okay, we are 719 kilometers away. We can chop down a good chunk of that by going to a Wolf Point aid shelter, but then things start getting interesting. The good news, though, is since we're on a moon, not to be confused with a planet, there are some individuals out there who seem to have trouble with the idea of moons. Since this is a moon, atmosphere is a lot thinner, not as thick. I can maintain faster speeds. That's a big deal because that way I won't have to spend too much time getting to the cave. And the best part is, at least at the moment, it looks like we've got sunlight out. That's great, because landing in the daytime is a lot easier than landing at nighttime. So we are 132 kilometers away. We are moving at slightly a shade under 200 meters a second, so that's a kilometer every 5 seconds. That's going to take forever, so we're going to crank up our speed a bit. And hope I'm not sorry about that later, because slowing down something this massive takes as much time as speeding it up. That would be Newton's laws, folks. It's science. An object in motion tends to stay in motion until an outside force acts upon it. In this case, my starship thrusters. There you go. Who says that my stream can't be informative as well as entertaining? Even educational. Or at least as educational as you can get when you're, you know, in a game flying spaceships around moons from solar systems very far away. On the other hand, I am kind of getting a little low here. I'm almost under a kilometer up, and I have a feeling that, yeah, looks like that my target destination is a little over the horizon, so I kind of have to adjust for that. If I go straight at it, I'll plow into the ground and die. And my medbed doesn't do me much good if the medbed is wiped out. This is good, though, because I'm heading towards the sun. I have no idea if this is sunset or sunrise. Oh, there we go. I'm heading west. Damn, I'm heading west. That means this is not a sunrise, this is a sunset. Which means the clock is ticking. I want to get landed before that sun drops below the horizon, so I can see where I'm landing. I don't have to worry about guessing. I mean, I've got floodlights on this thing, but it's so much easier if I can see where I'm going in advance. We're still not quite 500 meters a second, although we're getting closer. Of course, I'm going to start dropping myself down now. So it's roughly a kilometer every 2 seconds, which means we're a couple minutes out. The good news is the sun is staying relatively put. Either that or I'm moving faster than the rotation of the moon. I'm not entirely sure if there is rotation on the moon or not. I'm assuming there is, but I've never really tried to work it out. Kilometers, 50 kilometers in closing. Unfortunately, the other thing that's closing is the ground, so let's get ourselves tilted back up. It is a... This is kind of like a dusty plains kind of moon, rather than the white, dusty, chalky moons of Selen or Yella. Daymar has character. "36 kilometers and closing." This is a positive sign. And as long as the Star of Stanton just stays put, we'll be in good shape. Now, the nice thing about doing the cave missions is, no matter the cave, you pretty much don't have to worry about being shot at on approach. There's some bunker missions where you'll have to deal with the fact that the bad guys will have turrets and they'll start shooting you and try to kill you off that way. You never have to worry about that for a cave. Not yet, anyway. I can easily see a future where they'll park a ballista or two outside of a cave. But we haven't hit those days yet. I'm not too worried about light gunfire because, well, let's face it, I'm in a Carrack. This thing sneers at small arms fire. Okay, now that's one of the little downsides. Sometimes, when you get close enough, it gets rid of your marker. Which is another reason why I like daytime better. Because at least in the daytime, I'll be able to see the cave. And I believe it is right here. Yep. It's not exactly impressive looking, is it? And yet, this is where we're going to go. Now let's level out. Drop the landing gear. Hopefully I'm not about to land on a rock. Perfectly possible, but... now it looks like I'm going to just miss. And we are down. Ah, boy, it's a good thing I don't have a back exit, because that could be quite a bit of a drop. And since I have no idea if it'll be dark or not, I'm going to turn on my spotlight. Ooh, look. Isn't that a bright spotlight? Dark. Bright. Dark. Bright. I am easily amused. So, now that I have my medbay set, I have my weapons, I have my armor, I have medical devices. I didn't mention that, but I do. I am ready to go in and find 12 evil hostiles. Okay, maybe evil's kind of pushing it. Let's just say they don't want me there. They're willing to kill me. Therefore, they're bad people. Hey, they were good people. They probably wouldn't have a bounty on them. Probably. Maybe. Hey, I'm just a gunman here. It's not quite the Wild West, but it's close enough. I'm the next best thing to the law. Because Stanton deals with mostly private security folk. We'll close it up. Just to play it safe. Now, there are theoretically loot crates in the caves as well as you would find in the bunkers. Although, whether or not they oh, and there's one right out here. Let's see what they've got. Let's see, you've got a scope. Couldn't hurt. A couple knives, which I don't really care that much about. Well, you know what? I'll take this bale knife just for... no, not in my hands. I want it... Okay, I guess I have to store it. I'll throw it in my legs. Grumble, grumble, grumble. That's less common. None of the ammo I can use. I can care less about the fruits. Hey, they can't all be winners. I am going to initially work off of my S-71 assault rifle, complete with laser sight. I took care of the laser sight and the Scion compensator, which will hopefully keep my shots on target. It's so bright. I have that floodlight from the Carrack is. Oh, and then of course we have complete darkness in there. Turn on my own helmet light, so that way I won't be completely blind walking around in here. Of course, they do have lights set up inside, but they're not given. Now, I suppose I should mention that this is obviously not a mission that claustrophobes would deal well with. Oh, shut up and fall down, guy. Thank you. Dramatic death. You know, I don't think I've seen that kind of armor recently. Gotta make sure there's no bad guys in there. Let's kind of turn him over and take a look at the armor he's using. It looks like standard light armor, actually. It's just a coloration I'm not familiar with. Although he does have his own multi-tool, which I find interesting. Alright. Enough of that. Time to be serious. There are bad people lurking in this cave. And the one thing they want more than anything else is to be left alone. In other words, they really don't want to see a guy armed with an assault rifle coming in after them. They like their privacy. Well, boo-hoo. Well, there's someone under there because I can see their lights flashing back and forth. And there we are. Let's see if I can get a good shot on any of them. Why is he still standing? There we go. I am going through ammo a little faster than I really wanted to. Well, that's why I made sure I packed enough clips to get me through a mission or two. Oh, is that another bad guy? Yes, it is. Sometimes getting the range on my scope, sometimes challenging. Alright. 4 out of 12. 1/3 of my targets. No longer in a position to cause me any trouble because they're busy bleeding out. And we'll take a quick look around too to see if there's any loot boxes. I don't know if there are any. I'm not really well equipped to take loot boxes because I didn't bring a backpack. There is a known bug that some backpacks are, shall we say, causing issues with exiting things, like making them blow up. And that would be counterproductive to my plans here today. Oh, let's see, another lumen. Laser pointer. I could always use another laser pointer, especially if I end up dead here. Unfortunately, since I don't have the backpacks, I can't grab the lumen. I don't have a spare, oh, well, technically I do have a spare, but I'm carrying a rifle right now. But I will remember it's here, just in case I have to, you know, get a different weapon. Now, there's one of the dead bodies. He's wearing, well, roughly the same kind of armor. Not finding any of the really cool loot boxes, but to be fair, I'm not really sure what a really cool loot box would look like. Here's another one. Shotgun ammo, bleh. AO3 ammo. Well, I could use AO3 ammo because one of my other weapons I use a lot are AO3s. Scope. More knives because, you know, everybody loves knives. Alright. I've gotten what I want. It's time to move on. Hello, bad guys. I'm looking for you. Why is my snipe? There we go. Need that laser sight rolling just in case I have to do a snapshot. Okay, the flickering light is coming from a light source and not from someone's headlamp. Theoretically. You're never quite sure. Generally, you're going to be going down in these caves rather than up when you're going hunting. It's not a hard and fast rule, but it's a reasonably safe assumption. Oh, hi there. Oh, I see flashing lights. I don't know if that's from that guy's headlamp from falling down or if there's another guy in here. Well, nobody's shooting at me. That's... Whoop! Oh, for heaven's sake, how many shots does it take to put him down? There we go. Halfway through the carnage. He's wearing different armor. He's wearing a greenish armor, which, you know, I approve of. I like green. Kind of seems to be my online signature color, so I always approve of that sort of thing. But again, I'm not carrying a backpack, so it's not like I can loot it. Although if I end up getting killed, maybe I will. Still checking around for more movement. Go over here first. Make sure there's nobody in that corner. Oh, that must have been the guy I sniped from a distance. He was a little further away than I thought he was. Yay for good scopes. And he's doing the gold armor that most of these guys are wearing. Now you see, this is one of the other benefits of being inside of a cave to do these missions. Unlike many of the missions that you do in bunkers, you don't have to worry about accidentally killing security guards. You know that everybody in a cave that isn't you is fair game. Okay, if you're with a partner, he's not fair game either, but you can consider the you as being plural. You all. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go up this way. Looks like there is going to be a bit of up here. I did say it's a general rule, but not a hard and fast rule. Oh. I've gone up because I'm going to be going down, most likely. Yeah, I can see the pink flares down there. Did I just do a circle? Okay, everyone kind of carefully hop down. Careful being the watchword here. Because it would be very inconvenient to find out that I went down a little too far. We're going back up though, and I don't think up is where I want to go. So we're going to go back down this way. It looks like we are going to be going further down. Way down. Down, 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 down. keeping the eyes open. Alright, looks like we're going to have to go underneath this chunk of rock, which is going to be entertaining. Eyes open, eyes open. I don't like having those lights in my eyes because then I can't really see, and that could make life difficult if there's somebody aiming a gun at me in front of me and I don't see him, and he sees me. I prefer my targets to not be aware I'm there until they start getting bullets in their chest, or other important parts of their body. Yeah, speaking of whom. Life's tough when you're a guard. Yeah, there's someone else in there. That's a headlamp. And all these dust clouds are not making it simple. Let's double check that there's nobody in the near side here. Maybe I'm seeing things. I would hardly be the first person to have gone overly paranoid because of seeing light where I don't expect to see it. Still bugs me though. Okay, now this is where it gets tricky. In the lighter gravity, I can jump a pretty fair distance, but it's not going to be far enough to get me all the way across. If I misjudge the jump, I fall all the way down there and it becomes tricky to get out. I have still not gotten myself to the point where I'm comfortable with the jumps. I was never any good at Mario Brothers. I did it again. Ah! Okay, so what happens when you're basically down at the bottom? Well, the only thing to do is climb back up. Ideally, I would like to climb up on the side where I can get back to the, basically to the other side. That's not going to happen. So, we're going to work our way we're going to try to work our way up on this side. I seem to be having a little trouble getting there. And I'm back down. There is a way out. Heaven knows I've done it more times than I care to think about, because I missed that jump on an alarmingly regular basis. No, I don't have enough vertical leap to get myself over those ledges. No. If I gotta get up there, it's gotta be this way. I'm missing a handhold somewhere. Okay, I seem to have done it. I have no idea how I've done it, but I've done it. Nope. I'm pretty sure I want to go this way. Is that a... Can't quite tell. Is that a person? What do you know? At the one time I need a better scope. Oh, that's a corpse. You know what that means? It means I went the wrong way. Alright then, well, looks like we're going to make another try on this. Let's go crazy. Let's try this side. Yeah, that didn't work. Frassum, 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 frassum. Alright, here we go again. Oh. And after a while, I guess, I get to see my targets on the heads-up display. Good. That makes things substantially simpler. Oh, nuts. The guy was walking right in front, and I could have had a good beat on him, and opportunity lost. Well, you know, adapt, adapt, adapt. I see you. Nuts. I'm not sure he died. I'm doing some blind firing towards the target marker. He might be behind a rock. Oh, no he's not. He's coming right in my direction. Oh, for God's sake, why are you still alive? There we go. Okay, they know I'm here. So it's time to use alternative weaponry. The submachine gun. Or as I like to think of it, my oh crap weapon. One more target. Are you feeling lonely right now? You should. Target down. Objective complete. If you are a bad guy, you are now an ex-bad guy. Now that we've gone through this, let's see if there's anything worth looting off of these guys. They're using Orc Mark V core. That's and True Def legs. And Venture. Boy, talk about a mishmash of uniform. Cripes. That's how you know they're pirates. They have no dress sense. Sadly, another thing they're not seeming to have on them are their guns and ammo. Oh, well, there's a gun. But that's a custodian, looks like, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the custodian, go to my inventory screen, we're going to turn myself around a little bit, and we're going to see if I can get the clip out. No, looks like that ain't gonna happen. And it's got a 60 bullet clip too. I mean, that would be a handy thing. Well, you know what? I'm gonna keep a hold of this anyway. Let's go to carry lowered. And let's see if I can find the other dead body. When the markers are all gone, it becomes a little harder to find the guys. He's got a custodian. I am still carrying the gun, alright. Yes, I am. Don't want to accidentally fall in that hole, because if I fall in that hole, God only knows if I'm going to be able to get out again. Alright. Well, I guess the last place to look is up top here, because these guys were coming up top to take shots at me, and that's where I killed them, so... Or maybe not. Where did the dead bodies go? Well, when you get right down to it, I don't care that much. Actually, this isn't even the one I was going to, was it? The problem with similar terrain is that it's, well, similar. Okay, it was this rock that I did my killing spree on. Shotgun, don't want. No idea what this guy is, but he's still twitching. Oh, there we go. Another shotgun. Again, don't want. And I think that's all the guns in this area. So now comes the next fun part. Getting out. See, I have an easier time judging myself getting out of here than I do getting in here. I don't pretend to understand it. It just is. Shotgun on him, don't care. And then when I get out, I'll have a spare custodian to work with. Now, nice thing about doing these cave missions on a location like Daymar is that the temperature of Daymar is not excessive. That means I won't have to worry about boiling or freezing. There are other moons in the game that are, let's just say, more hostile. And that kind of colors the kind of armor you can use, or more precisely, how long you can stay outside without it. And of course, you always want to make sure you have an undersuit and helmet at the very least, because the moon's atmosphere, regardless of the moon, not conducive to human life. In other words, you can't breathe it. Oh, that wasn't the way I wanted to go. Oops. Now, once upon a time, the solution to dealing with going through the cave again would be to simply backspace and kill yourself. But with the physicalized inventory having become a thing, that's less practical than it used to be. The only place where it really works out as being really practical is if you're in jail. And even then, sometimes I decide not to do the backspace thing, but rather work my way through the cavern system anyway. Because sooner or later, they'll take care of that loophole as well. Or more importantly, the death penalty will be worse. Ah, that bright light tells me I am near the surface. I was in a tunnel, and there was a bright light at the end of the tunnel. No, it's not death, or a near-death experience. It's the floodlight of my Carrack. And as predicted, it is now nighttime. And look at that gas giant. Is that not a great look? Is that not a great look? Let me see if I can adjust myself here. This feels screenshot worthy. Well, let's not get that angle. Let's... You know, it occurs to me I should probably pay attention to where I'm going backwards, because, you know, this is a good way to fall down a crevice and die. Oh, let's adjust myself this way. Adjust things this way. There we go. Wallpaper worthy. Okay, maybe not really wallpaper worthy. I've got better screenshots for that sort of thing. But you cannot deny that even with the assorted faults that Star Citizen may have, it is still a devastatingly attractive game. The ships look awesome. The planets and moons look awesome, both on the ground and looking at them at a distance. Mission accomplished. Let's take this custodian and put it in my vehicle inventory. So now I've got two... Well, okay, I took a Lumen, not a custodian. Oh, nuts. Maybe I should have grabbed some of that Lumen ammo after all. Oops. Well, you know, it's not the first time. Won't be the last time. We're also going to unload the stuff I've got in my suit pockets. So that if I should end up dead, the worst case scenario, I don't lose the stuff I looted out. So, high fives! We succeeded our first cavern mission. Let's take a look at the Moby Glass and see if there's another one. Let's see. Nothing's coming up here. Nothing's coming up here. So what do you do if you don't find another cave in this area you're at? Well, that's when you go to a different planet. So we'll get to the Hab deck. Depart Daymar, and we will head to a different world. And we're going to see if there's anything to be found elsewhere. Ah, engines online. What a great sound to hear. Up and at 'em. Now, fortunately, I did take the liberty of equipping my Carrack with an TS2 drive. A quantum drive that should make long-distance travel less anguishing. And I think what I want to try is I'm going to stop over at Microtech. I don't think I've done a cave mission at Microtech before. I don't even know if they have cave missions at Microtech. But I kind of want to find out. So first we'll go to the Orbital Marker 3, which will put me in a position to line up on... Oh, I got another starship around the area. How interesting. Luckily, one of the other things I've got... Oh, come on, you were supposed to put me in line of Microtech, not take me to... Now it wants to take me to OM1. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Fortunately, I also made sure to pick up some pretty kicking shields on the Carrack. So, if the fellow there decided to be hostile, it is unlikely, although possible, but unlikely that he would be able to kill me before I moved on to my next leg of my journey. And we're off. So we're going to step out of the seat for a moment. And I indicated earlier that I saw the Carrack as a 5-man crew deal. We're going to see if we can prove that. Ooh, I'm getting some odd lag here. I hope I'm not about to crash or something. This room is the captain's ready room / quarters. And obviously, he's got his own bed. He also has a teddy bear that he can't actually interact with. You can only interact with that if you have a Carrack expedition, which I do not. I didn't care that much for its paint job. Now over this way, is this way? Or is it this way? This way. Crew quarters. which includes their recreation room. Now here, no, that's the toilet. So we're going to go over here and we're going to count the number of bunks we have in here. We've got 2 here, 1 here, and another 2. So we've got, so this can handle conveniently a crew of 6. Now obviously they can't man all the stations all the time. I mean, you've got a pilot seat, 2 co-pilot seats, 4 turrets, and an upstairs command center. Clearly, that's more than the amount of people we have bunks for. Although I suppose if you hot bunk it, it wouldn't be so bad. And yes, you did read right. There is the toiletries. And the toilets do, I believe... Oh, maybe they don't. I'm kind of figuring that there should be a shower access, but I don't see anything in here that corresponds to that sort of thing. I mean, this looks like it's just a toilet. Unless... Up! What have I done? What have I done? Oh, whew, that was close. Got myself stuck in there. I wasn't sure how to get out. No. You're a vampire. I knew it. Yeah, that, in case you didn't notice that when you were, when I was walking through here, folks, we have mirrors, but there is no reflection. That's right. The characters of Star Citizen are all vampires. Isn't that a nice little horror twist to the science fiction game here? Okay, if I'm correct... No, I'm not correct. I can't be correct because it's the mess hall. So something is very wrong here. You've got the toilet. You've got the bedroom area. Oh, okay, okay. The showers are over here. Okay, thank heavens. I knew there had to be a shower on this ship, and I couldn't remember where it was. This is where it is. I feel better now. That makes more sense. And yeah, we've got a pool table in here, but you can't actually do anything with them. And of course, the obvious question here is if you've got a pool table and you've got the billiards there, where are the pool cues? Maybe you use them with your fists, because if you're a vampire, you don't have to worry about breaking the bones in your fist by hitting these things. So you can always use your arms and fists to hit the billiards. No? That doesn't seem to work? Well, I never claimed to be great in for theory. And this door didn't close automatically either, so some doors seem to have trouble remembering that they need to close. Oh, including that door. Oops. But I hear us slowing down, so we are almost at Microtech. So let's get in the pilot seat so I'm ready to move upon arrival. We are 500,000 kilometers and closing fast. So fast, in fact, that by the time I got this sentence out, we had already lopped off 100,000 kilometers. Nobody's perfect. Okay, let's angle my movement so that I'm not pointing directly at the planet. And then we'll pull up the contract manager and see if there's anything here that says I'm in a cave. Well, it's not here because we've got the 890 boarding mission. And it's not here Now, what you will... Well, okay, well, now comes an interesting question. Well, you know what? Even though it's low paying, it still fits the theme of spelunking, so we are going to continue spelunking. Oh. Oh. Ooh. This is going to be interesting. This cave can be accessed with a small ship or possibly a ground vehicle. Now I really want to do this one. Of course, I do have one tiny problem. Lack of a small ship. I mean, I'm in a Carrack. So we're going to have to park the Carrack. And we'll do that at Port Tressler. Because I gotta admit, I've never gone into one of the caves that are big enough to handle any kind of ship or vehicle. So I really want to check this out. I don't know, I'm pointing to the cave. I don't want to go to the cave. I want to go to Port Tressler. Now, ironically enough, if I actually had the Pisces on board this thing, then I could use it. Well, you know, hindsight is always 20/20. On the bright side, I also don't need quite as much equipment on me. Actually, it occurs to me what I really should have done while I was still on the surface was get rid of my empty ammo clips. I didn't think of it. Nobody's perfect. Here we go. That's a bug that sometimes happens. You approach a station or something like that, your quantum drive kind of spools itself back up, and it's annoying. It's annoying, but it's hardly game breaking, so it's not going to get fixed anytime soon, I don't think. But you never know. Now, as a completely unrelated aside, we are nearing the end of the 3.16 patch cycle. 3.17 is, by all accounts, in evocati status, where the folks fortunate enough to be, well, maybe fortunate enough isn't the right term. The poor fools who got suckered into becoming evocati are undoubtedly heavily testing a lot of the new features that will be coming into the game, including ship refueling, and even more importantly, coffee shop vendors. Maybe they're even able to monkey with some of the new starships, although I suspect they're not going to be out. I suspect they're being saved for 3.17.1. In fact, if it weren't so late, I'd be tempted to think they're waiting to Invictus for those. And other incidental details. Even if you want to see what's scheduled on it, go to the roadmap on the Star Citizen site.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Full disclosure, I am not evocati. I will never be evocati. I have no desire to be evocati. It's too much like, you know, actual work. I'm willing to be involved with the testing of the Star Citizen as it exists today on the persistent universe. Because, you know, as I might have mentioned once or twice, this game is still in alpha. But that's about as far as I'm willing to go. I'll hit PTU once in a while if I find myself really interested in what PTU's got. But as a general rule, no thank you. Okay, kind of being careful coming in here because, you know, I'm eyeballing it. I'll wait for the landing gear to get down. And then set down.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Alright, one of the things I often do once I reach my location is I'm going to unload the stuff from my ship onto the local inventory. Primarily so that I don't have to worry about it later. If something happens, I want the stuff I've gotten to still be gotten. I'll also divest myself of some of the equipment I'm wearing. Including the guns. I'll leave the medical stuff on because I might need that. Ammo clips that I have not expended. The ammo clips I still have, I'm going to keep on, well, I don't really know. I don't really know. I'm going to put them on the vehicle. I'm going to leave these on the vehicle as is. So that way they're separate from my good ammo clips, and whenever I can think of it conveniently, I can empty them out at my leisure. Let's get the rest of the armor off. Can I get at those med pens? Okay, and then I can take off the chest armor, the leg armor. Do I have garbage undersuit here? Yes, I do. And we'll grab the garbage helmet to go with it. And now we will depart. Before I start getting those annoying messages saying, hey, we're going to store your ship because you've been taking your bloody time. So rude. Now, I do want to point out that for this mission, where I'm just supposed to find this missing client, let's pop up a spoiler alert right now. The client is dead. I have never seen a cave mission that actually had somebody still breathing there. The client is dead, you know, and it's probably for the best because I'm not entirely sure they would be able to have an AI or figure out how to get out of the cave once you're in. So, our good buddy, Masood Fang, he's dead. He's a corpse. He's just, you know, preserved frozen in a cave somewhere on Microtech. Really, it does suck to be him. Especially since 9 times out of 10, people don't do these missions. Nobody, almost nobody, does this cave mission, this particular cave mission. It's low pay. It's usually completely safe because I've never seen bad guys in these missions. If there is, I'm probably screwed. In fact, why don't I plan for that? I'm going to claim the Pisces right here. it'll only take 41 seconds, but that'll be more than enough time for me to go through the station and reset my spawn area. Since I've parked the Carrack, it is no longer a valid spawn location, so I need to set it somewhere else that's actually, you know, reasonably close by. Otherwise, I'll spawn back in at Orison. And while there are circumstances where I don't mind spawning in at Orison, this is not one of those times. By now, the Pisces should be available. And that's what we're going to use to fly in this theoretically vehicle-accessible cave. Really, that's the only reason I took this mission. I don't like doing the search for a dead body in the cave because, at least back when I started doing them, when I started Star Citizen way back in the day, finding said dead body was almost impossible. It really was. I think I lucked out on one dead body, and that was it. But this is one of those Starship accessible caves, and I have never done that. I have never been in one of those caves that are big enough to handle a small ship or a vehicle. You know what? Depending on where that cave is, I might even do something else. That's right, folks. Nothing is ever so crazy that I can't make it crazier. But first I need to see where that particular cave is. After that, then I shall reassess the evaluation. So we know it's on microtech. So that means normal gravity, normal everything. Freaking cold though. No. The cave is far enough away from just about everything that I am not going to take option B. Option B, incidentally, if there had been a relatively nearby outpost, I would have been tempted to take the hover quad there. Because I've got a couple of those for conversion to LTI starships later on in the year. But that doesn't mean I can't use them in advance. But the bad news is the cave isn't near anything. So we're going to have to orbital marker this thing. So we'll pull ourselves up and out. And this is the Pisces. It's a tiny little snub fighter. Well, it's not even a fighter, really. It's basically a glorified shuttle. Got 2 extra seats for passengers, 2 guns. If you have the C8X Pisces, that one has extra ammo, well, extra weaponry to it, but honestly, this is not a combat ship. You do not fly the Pisces for combat. Okay, this one's 1,300 kilometers away, but, you know, that'll still get me a lot closer to the cave than where I am now. That's a stealthy little ship. Yes, it is, Cap. How you doing? I hope things are going well on your side of the monitor today. And now I'm 600 kilometers away. Well, you know what? That did not improve my situation much. What's this OM marker? Yeah, that's not going to appreciably improve my situation either. Okay, well, we'll just have to do this the hard way then. I am currently getting ready to go into a cave. But not just any cave. This cave is apparently one of those caves that are big enough for a ship to go into. A small one, but still a ship. I couldn't pass that opportunity up. I mean, I was looking for a cave that had, you know, evil bastards in it to blow away. But apparently, Microtech is a nice, peaceful planet where it doesn't have those kind of problems. I look at my contract manager. Whereas I've got our claim jumpers and a couple of sky bounties. That's it. But they had this search mission into a cave big enough for a ship. I've never seen one of those. I've never actually been in one of those. I knew they existed, but I've never been in one. This is my opportunity. Unfortunately, my opportunity also has issues where the location I want to go to isn't exactly conveniently located. Let's bring up the map. Let's make sure I'm at least on the right side of the planet here before I start. Oh, come on! Seriously? I'm not going to go pinging because we're gonna put that stealthy little ship claim to the test here. Of course, it also helps that I'm moving at pretty much my top speed, and anybody trying to intercept me is going to have a rough go of it. Hopefully, it was someone who was just passing through because they were trying to head to the security post on Microtech where they can clear their crime stats and want to have nothing to do with another player who might be inclined to hunt them down and kill them. But I'm not getting any more hostile alerts, so I am choosing to believe that whoever it was has gone to greener pastures. May all my guesses be right. Oh. There's something that was... Couldn't get a good look at him. Couldn't get a target lock on him. But it wasn't immediately red, so... For all I know, it could have been Microtech security. It could happen. $380 kilometers in closing. That's the one downside for some of these cave missions. Because they don't have any jump markers, quantum markers, you can't zap yourself over there and be done with it. You've got to actually take the time to go there. I also want to point out the extremely other depressing fact that here we are on the night side of the planet, which offers its own complications. This is clearly going to be tricky. Korth is taking his time because he knows that might be the most riveting part of the mission. Well, no, the most riveting part of the mission is when I go into the cave and find that I have no idea of how to get back out of it. That's when it's going to be the most riveting part of the mission. There's a reason why I left all the good equipment behind. If worse comes to worse, I will simply take off the helmet and die, and respawn back at Port Tressler. And the only thing I'll be out is the default spacesuit, the undersuit, the default helmet, and a Pisces that can be reclaimed in under a minute, without expediting. See, I was thinking. In space, the stupid die. In space, sometimes the smart people do too. And for all of us poor slobs in the middle, well, you can go either way. 262. Well, by the time I said that, we were down to 260, and now we're down to 255 now. That means we are going at roughly a little over a kilometer per second. So that puts us a little outside of 4 minutes before we reach the cave. Presuming, of course, I don't slow down. You can see the problem with that sentence right there. It's a safe bet that at some point, I'm going to want to slow down. That's okay, though, because long before that happens, I should hit the atmosphere of Microtech. And that's going to have a little bit of entertaining special effects. So, let's see. Let's get ourselves a... Yeah, it looks like a good angle. Once we hit Atmo, that's where things start getting visually entertaining. And seeing as I'm 185 kilometers up, I'm pretty sure it won't be too long, because maybe a minute and a half tops. Because I'm pretty sure that the beginning part of atmosphere for Microtech starts at about 100 kilometers. I'm not 100% certain. I'm only like 99% certain. No surprising hostiles on my charts. And we are a little over 2 minutes. Yep, and we just hit Atmo. So let's see how fast I can go before the thickness of the atmospheric envelope decides to get involved. Of course, with my luck, it'll start affecting me, but I won't notice it until I'm like 1 kilometer above the ground, at which point I'll realize, oh nuts! I'm still pointed at the ground! Followed shortly by the gruesome explosion of my starship. That's a worst case scenario. I choose to believe, however, that everything is going to work out exactly as planned. We're going to ignore the fact that I don't have a lot in the way of an actual plan. Nobody's perfect. I can't believe I'm not seeing any atmospheric effects yet. Oh, here we go. I can hear it. That's a good sign. I should be seeing some sort of visual effect at this point, because God knows I'm going at that kind of speed. I'm still 25 kilometers up, but you know what? That's bad, because that means I've got 25 seconds before I impact the ground. So perhaps either the atmosphere is not as impressive as I thought, or, equally likely, my ship is small enough and aerodynamic enough that it just slices through. Which seems unusual to me, but, you know, life's like that. So, no spectacular visual effect on my approach, which would have been pretty cool given the fact that we're on the night side of the planet. Well, you know, you can't win them all. I could have taken the M50, I suppose, which is a racing ship, which I know would have incited visual effects. But that would have taken longer to claim. The Pisces was something I could grab right away. we are a little over 12 kilometers from the ground, and we are 15 kilometers out. Going in at a pretty steep angle. I'm going to try to change the angle up a little bit, drop my altitude, and raise the nose up a bit. I would ordinarily go a little faster than this. I'm only going at 124 meters a second right now. But it's nighttime. I can't really see anything, and I don't want to die before I see that cave. Turning on my flood lamps. And now I'm approaching at a much better angle. My pitch is down to 25 degrees. And I'm not going so fast that I won't have plenty of notice before my friend, Mr. Ground, shows up on my lighting. So dark. Six kilometers out. 4.5 kilometers up. And I do have to mention that the altimeter is not exactly a perfect indicator, because that altimeter presumes that the surface is not lumpy, like, you know, without hills, mountains, valleys, that sort of thing. And the Microtech cave indicator just went away, which is not what I wanted to see. Okay, well, it seems that we have a mountain right here. Let's pitch up, pitch down. Okay, nothing obvious there. Okay, so it looks like challenge number 1 is finding the entrance. And I might have meant... Oh, that looks like it's a... Okay, I've managed to completely lose track of where I'm at. Okay, hold on. Let's level out here. This is getting ridiculous. This would be a lot easier if it were daylight, but, you know, I've griped about that earlier, and we're still... Yeah, this is just not going well, is it? And there's no telling as to when the sun is going to come up. Is this a possibility, or is that just a... No, that's not a possibility. All I know is that somewhere in this general area, there should be a hole in the ground. The bad news is I am having trouble locating said hole in the ground. I was doing just fine until I adjusted my pitch. I can't help but wonder if it's in this little valley area. No, it doesn't appear to be in this valley area. Having that marker disappear like that did not help the situation one bit. I mean, honestly, having the marker there would have at least allowed me to have a point to start looking. Wonder if I can get a ping that'll help. It's not really helping. I'm beginning to think that I might have to wait until daylight, because I am having no luck here. Especially now that my orientation is completely shot. And I have no idea if I'm heading towards it or away from it or any of the above. And the rate I'm going, I'm going to circle around and I'm going to smack into something solid and explode. So as you can see, we're experiencing bonus content today. Searching for caves on Microtech. There is one tiny microscopic bit of good news out of all this. Eventually, I'm going to get so far away that the marker will return. That's not necessarily good news. But, you know, we're running out of options here, and I need that marker. So, well, you know, there's one more thing I can try, just for the giggles. Let's see if I can untrack and track and make it come back. Yeah, that was a big ask. Anything on here that might give me an indicator? Of course not. Why would my map help me out here at all anyway? Okay, well, let's try this. I'm going to go straight up. And keep going straight up until I get a marker again. The theory being that I'm reasonably close to the general area, that by the time the marker pops back in, it will be practically straight down. Otherwise, I'm in bigger trouble because there's always... Oh, there we go. Didn't even have to go that far. Cut the speed entirely. Re-aim. Dead center. And go forward. Now see, it just vanished again, but I'm going straight ahead. Right into the rock face. You know what? I think this is actually it. I think we've got it. Yes, we've found it, folks. The cave. The dark, dank cave. Let's get a third-person view here. Man, when they said it was good for small ships, they weren't kidding. I mean, wow. This is a tight fit. Ooh. Ooh, it is even better than I thought. Let's get the landing gear down because I think I'm going to need that shortly. Am I leveled out? Okay, now I'm leveled out. That's changed our third-person view a bit. And touchdown. Here we are. A ship big enough to fit in a cave. And it's a big one, ain't it? There's a big cave. So now the real adventure begins. Finding the missing client, who is, once again, very likely already dead. Let's get the headlamp on. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the ship as my indicator as to where to go or where I've been. Straight ahead is 12 o'clock. So right now I'm kind of going 11 o'clock here. Just in case the area over here has a... Well, it does have its area here. So here we are. This is a big cave. Whether or not we find anything, I have no idea. Actually, let me get back to the Pisces for a minute there because I think I didn't leave the lights on. And I really, really, really want to leave the lights on. Because those lights are going to be very likely my only hope of finding my way back out again. There we go. That light might be the only way I find my way out. And to be honest, I'm not even sure about that. Yeah, good, good. You can see that the light is very visible from here. With any luck, that'll help me out when I have to make my inevitable exit. Well, that was potentially remarkably fast. You know, I feel very bad that this was a lot simpler than I expected it to be. Well, you know, I might as well get some benefit out of all this. Oh, yeah, I can't equip the thing because of the, right. How embarrassing. Okay, let's just set that down for a minute. Okay, it's gonna have to do this the hard way, aren't I? Fine. Give a place to stand. Guess I have to put it down in area too cluttered. How am I supposed to loot this guy's armor and all that if it's going to give me this much trouble? Oh, there we go. Sometimes the simpler method is the best. Got your armor. Let's see, you need the arms. So here I am, wearing this guy's stuff, with one exception, the helmet, which we're storing. Because let's face it, trying to do that in an well, actually we're not an airless, are we? This isn't an airless moon, this is microtech. Microtech, with an atmosphere. Why am I suffocating? It's freaking microtech. Unless it's something with a cave. I didn't think of that. And we'll store the undersuit too. I tried to store the undersuit. I feel kind of bad about looting all this guy's stuff. Okay, I'm slightly lying. I don't really feel bad at all. I'm a horrible human being. Oops. Okay, that was not the way I wanted to go. Or let me rephrase that. That was the way I wanted to go, just not how I wanted to go. Okay. Oh, right. Ha! No wonder. Yeah, that's how come I'm having trouble estimating things. I'm having trouble estimating things because I keep forgetting that this is not a low-gravity moon. This is microtech that has normal gravity. So making these spectacular jumps isn't going to do much because I can't make spectacular jumps. Uh-oh. What I can, however, manage to do is make myself stuck. Okay. Don't panic. Can I... No. Oh, sure, I can wipe my visor when I'm stuck, but I can't do anything else. You know, things were going great right up to then. Well, we knew that this was a good possibility of how this was going to end. Well, it's not like I lost anything of value. Try sit. Where was that 10 seconds ago, legend? Well, then the plan doesn't all. And hey, in Twitch delay land, yeah, distinctly possible. But like I said on the outset, I lost nothing of value. Pisces, Less than a minute. Horizon undersuit. I'm getting replaced. Horizon Venture. Oh, sorry, Venture. No, Beacon undersuit. Horizon helmet. Both free returns. So I have lost nothing of any value. So now that I've done that, let's get the equipment back rolling. Got the helmet. Where's? Thank you. We are back at the Kelto at Port Tresker, aka where it all began. Well, not all of it, just this particular bit of flying. Okay, let's see. I can leave the ammo here, just in case I have a need for future operations here at Microtech. Presuming I do future operations at Microtech. Well, let's find out about future operations at Microtech. No, that's to defend occupants. No spelunking missions here. And no spelunking missions here at all. How depressing. So it's time to go to another planetary system. Yeah, might as well claim the Pisces while we're here. Of course, I'll probably end up claiming it somewhere else, somewhere along the line, but you know, it's under a minute. Who cares? Man, that really hurts, though. I actually find the person right off the bat, which still amazes me, but unable to get out because of glitching. But that is why you have to think when you get ready to do these things. With physicalized inventory being the way it is, you have to go on these kind of missions pretty much with minimal equipment. Minimal equipment means minimal risk. Now eventually, when the death of a spaceman thing becomes fully real and you start losing body parts and cybernetics and potential character death, then things get a little more complicated. We are, however, nowhere near that. We're going to take the ammo after all. Of course, the ammo doesn't want to get stacked in. Come on, Star Citizen, work with me. Heck, we'll even throw those reloads for the med gun. Have med gun, we'll travel. Med pens. And, most importantly, guns. One gun for the back. Two guns for the back. And a backup gun for the ship. And yes, I do still have those empty clips. I will be working with those at some point soon. First, though, Arcore. Now, you will not find any caves on Arcore proper. That's because Arcore is basically Coruscant in Star Citizen. A world that's been basically paved over. It's kind of like, what if Cyberpunk and Star Wars Coruscant had an illegitimate love child? I come up with these lovely images, don't I?
You are clear to launch.
It's got VTOLs too. I don't really know if the VTOL key is available on every ship, including ships that don't have VTOL, so I am not sure why they bothered. But I'm willing to activate it just on the outside chance that I'm wrong and I do need it. And out we go. Now, naturally, Arcore is a fair distance away. Naturally, because, you know, why should it be simple?
Thank you, and please visit here.
So now that we are underway, I need to think about what to do with those stupid empty ammo clips. We're going to transfer them from the vehicle into my pockets so that at a future point, which will be sooner than they want to hope, perhaps, I can dump them off, because those clips will never, ever go away unless you drop them somewhere where you can be reasonably sure won't come back to haunt you. That means dropping them on my ship is out, because then they'll always be cluttering the floor of my ship. Dropping them at a hangar or something like that, well, it's doable, but it's rude. Don't do rude. Dropping them in space is an option, but things might go hilariously wrong that way. Now, see, one area that could be considered, perhaps, would be to basically dispose of them out the airlock. But I really don't want to try doing that out there in quantum space. Space littering. Well, you know, it's all in perspective, legend. Allow me to illustrate with the total perspective vortex. There are many people out there, I'm sure, who have no idea what the total perspective vortex is. But in another setting, shall we say, it is a simple room. And what it does, yeah, you pee out the airlock of the cuddy. Yeah, that's because you don't actually have something reasonable like a toilet. The total perspective vortex is a room that shows you everything. The entire universe in its complete totality. Real men don't need a toilet. Debatable. The entire universe. Every galaxy, every star, every planet, every moon. And as you see all of this, there is a tiny microscopic dot upon a tiny microscopic dot upon a tiny microscopic dot. And on that dot are the words, "You are here." That is why I don't worry about space littering, because in the great scheme of things, it would take more than the planet Earth is capable of producing to cause it problems on any meaningful scale. That includes Mr. I use the toilet as the airlock on the Cuddy. Thus endeth the lesson. Credit to be given to the late Douglas Adams. Look out for the yellow comets. One has to wonder just how much you were drinking in order to produce yellow comets. Because it would have to be an awful lot of liquid. Now, I'm not entirely sure how close we are to Arcore, but I can't help but feel that we're reasonably close. We are 7 million kilometers in closing. A lot. It takes a bunch of beer to get a buzzed Star Citizen. Absolutely true. Go into my YouTube archive, look for the video that says, "This is the way not to fly," and you can see the effects of how much beer it takes to really get yourself buzzed in Star Citizen. Yes, I actually experimented with in-game beer. It was a hilarious stream. We also OD'd on pharmaceutical drugs too, so you know, you get to see both methods of serious chemical intoxication. Honestly, if I could highlight an entire video, I would have done it. That was a stream that deserved to be immortalized long term. If I ever make a video trailer for my stream or some sort of video intro, me walking around drunk is going to be very high on the list of things I do. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to slow this thing down, and we're going to indulge in some of that space littering that Legend referred to. I just want to make sure we're stopped, so that, you know, when I go out the airlock, the ship doesn't keep going. So we're going to get rid of those pesky ammo clips. And the best part is, we're reasonably close to the gravity well of Arcore, which means eventually they're going to get caught in its gravity and burn up in the atmosphere into nothing. Eventually, the inhabitants of Arcore will likely be breathing the cartridges I'm about to dump off. We're going to make use of the actual airlock on McCarrick here. There it is. Inventory. Drop. Drop. And drop. And look, they're floating off. There they are. 3 ammo cartridges. No longer needed. Okay, now let's see if I can get back on board my ship without accidentally killing myself. Well, that was oddly successful. And that is the proper way to EVA. Well, one of the proper ways. There's also, at the cartography deck, you might have noticed those EVA doors. I could have done that too. But this was probably simpler. I'm a big fan of simple. Moving glass check. Protect sites. No, those are actual locations. Bounty hunter. No. So it doesn't seem like there's any cave missions that are combat related here. I'm pretty sure that... No, that's for a transit. Vessel, and vessel. So no cave missions are running right now here. Well, you know, you win some and you lose some. Now, I very deliberately went to Microtech and Arcore because I know, obviously, that Crusader had cave missions. And I also know that Hurston has cave missions. But I wanted to go to more out-of-the-way locations to see if maybe there was a bit more to do there. Because Arcore and Microtech, I feel, are really underrepresented in mission content. Sadly, it seems they are still underrepresented. What can you do? Now that said, there may be caves in some of these locations anyway. But you have to explore and find them. And as we've seen, they may not necessarily be easy to find. We are approaching the 3 o'clock hour, and that feels like a good place to wrap things up for this stream. We looked at a couple caves. We went to Daymar, shot up a bunch of people there who deserved the pain. Oh no, thank you, Legend. Thank you for stopping by, chatting, just being here. In fact, let's do another one just in case folks missed it earlier. That Legend there does his own Star Citizen stream, and he does those on Saturday mornings as opposed to my streams that happen on Saturday afternoons. I will, of course, since I pointed out the Saturday afternoons, I will again be streaming Star Citizen next Saturday, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. If you're a fellow who enjoys the Star Trek genre, I also do a Star Trek Online stream on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for watching, whether you are watching this live on Twitch or video on demand, either here or on YouTube. I hope you had an entertaining time. I hope you enjoyed seeing the cave missions and the hazards thereof. And I hope you will join me again next time. Until that next time, this is Korath Landwalker, signing off.